Hey guys, got some new Game of Thrones vinyls to look at today, courtesy of Bandai. So big thank you to Bandai, for contributing these, and they are available, the entire set. There's going to be a dozen of them. The whole set is currently available and on sale on Big Bad Toy Store at the moment. And I really did enjoy Game of Thrones right up until the final season, which, you know, I didn't hate it, but it was just a case of everything that came before it was so great that when the finale is okay, when it goes in a certain direction and you were led to believe it was going to go in a different direction, it just leaves you not very satisfied. So that's what I feel about the way Game of Thrones wrapped up. But I am excited to go through it again because the early seasons were fantastic. These figures, these pop vinyls, I don't collect many pop vinyls. Let's take a look at the boxes first, I guess. They show you some of the other available figures in the line. They've also got a Daenerys, and Jon Snow is one of the ones we have today to look at. The Night King and Tyrion Lannister with a little scar across his face. And on the back, another picture of Jon Snow and the Night King. And there are also gold editions. So there's a gold edition Jon Snow with long claw. Cersei, a White Walker, another picture of Tyrion and Jaime Lannister. And all of the boxes are identical. This one looks, I guess, like a blind box. Like you don't know who you're going to get here. Or maybe all of the figures that are in this box come in a black box. But let's start with the black one. And there is no peeking. Like you cannot see through this. It looks like it's tinted, but no light is passing through that. And when we open them up, we get a White Walker. So, wow, I actually was not expecting this much posability. These are, I thought they were going to be like little 5-star Funko figures, but these are fully articulated. That's surprising to me. First time handling one of these. You got head articulation. Shoulder is on like a semi-ball joint, so you get a little bit of range in the shoulder. No elbow joint, but his hand twists around. He's got an ab crunch. Wow, they're going all out here. And I'm thinking the waist. Does the waist? Yeah, it does. The waist swivels. He's got hip articulation. He's got a knee bend. His foot turns at his ankle. Really surprised. That's a lot of articulation for a little guy. He's made of kind of bendy plastic, so I don't think you're going to break him from too much handling. And I don't believe he comes with... Oh, he does! He does come with an accessory. He has a little spear in here, so let's open this up. And oh, that's cool. It's not translucent, but it almost seems like it is. A little spear. So you can put it in either hand. He grips it pretty well. Yeah, like taking terrifying, horrifying, horror, undead characters like this guy or some of the zombies on The Walking Dead is not normally my cup of tea. But I do like the sculpting on this guy. It's got a lot more sculpting, just like with a lot more posability than I thought he had. He's got a lot more sculpting and detail than I expected from one of these Loyal Subjects figures. And in the box, you also get a card. Nice thick cardstock. And it tells you the name of the character, the affiliation, and an interesting fact. And his interesting fact is he was once human. And on the back, a picture of all the other Loyal Subjects Game of Thrones figures. So that is the White Walker with those creepy. He nailed the blue in the eyes for sure. Almost glowing. I wonder if he glows. Charge him up for a second here. Doesn't look like he has any glowing parts. And probably shouldn't anyway. But that is the White Walker, and he stands pretty good. Give him the wobble test. Yeah, he's very sturdy. Oh, look at that. He's got something on his foot too. Looks like he's got a stamp on his foot that says Loyal Subjects. And even detail in the toes there. Well done. And shame. Shame. It's Cersei Lannister. And I like the addition of these little cards. Cersei Lannister, her affiliation is House Lannister. House words, hear me roar. Oh, and a quote. I guess the White Walker didn't have a quote because he doesn't speak. But Cersei's quote is, when you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. She certainly learned that. And interesting fact, destroyed the great sept of Baelor, and everyone inside with wildfire. That is an interesting fact. Jeez. She comes with, is this a chalice, I guess? Some kind of chalice. Let's open it up. And, you know, one thing I like about the way these are packaged is she's in there secure. She's not coming out. And I know it's a little thing, but there's none of those like straps or wraps or wires holding the figure in. It's just, it's held in with the clamshell securely. It's not coming out, and it's nice to just be able to do that. Like I said, it's a small thing, but it's smart design in the packaging. So here is Cersei Lannister. In terms of likeness, this design isn't really going for likeness. They're going for like a more Funko or super deformed kind of cute look to them, but she can hold her chalice perfectly fine in both hands. Take a look at some of the details. She's got a necklace, same articulation as the White Walker, kind of an ab crunch. Leg articulation, which is pretty, I mean, it's hindered by the dress, so she could do knee bend and all that stuff, but it doesn't really matter with the dress. Nice hair sculpting. It's cascading down the figure. So yeah, just if you like Cersei, this is a nice Cersei figure. And if you're going to collect all of the Lannisters, then you need the Queen. And the final figure is my favorite of these three, and probably my favorite of the entire first collection of these. It's Jon Snow. I like this character. And let's take a look at his fact card. Affiliation is House Stark, so no spoilers. And House Words is Winter is Coming. And the quote is, there's only one war that matters, the Great War. And the interesting fact is that he died and was brought back to life. That is interesting. Some of these, the Cersei and Jon facts are mind-blowing, and they're just listed as an interesting fact. It'll be fun to see Brandon Stark's, or the Three-Eyed Ravens. Interesting fact. And we pulled Jon Snow out, and I pulled his hand off here, which looks like it's very easily inserted back in. This is a peg exactly like the modern G.I. Joe figures, so it's a little bit of a mushroom on the end, and you just push and it's in there secure. Yeah, no problems there. This one seems to pop out easier than the other one. That one's held in a little bit easier. This one pops out very easily, but once it's in there, it's nice and tight. Nice sculpting on the head. He's got that Jon Snow curly hair. Beautiful sculpting on the cape. That is quite nice. Articulation is, like Cersei, a little bit hindered. Not as much, but he's got this gear around, kind of tunic-looking thing hanging, so it hinders a little bit. You can sort of push it through and forward because of the gap there. So you can sort of have him in a forward. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Forward walking position, and the shoulders are a little hindered. Articulation's a little hindered by the cape, but that's cool. And this is an awesome accessory. Can't have Jon Snow without Longclaw. So it includes the scabbard of Longclaw with a little nub on it here, which I assume attaches to the figure, and the sword itself. That's cool. Love the design of swords on Game of Thrones. And this one has a little silver wolf head. I believe the one on the show was white, but this one is painted silver with the red eyes. Some fine detail there, and it looks just like the one on the show, except it's not that long because of the design of this style of figure. So it's more short and stubby, but this should plug in somewhere onto this figure. So this side flap right here does have a hole right here. So I guess that would plug into there, which gives you, like, the scabbard is longer than the figure. And on the show, Longclaw was a pretty big, long sword for Jon Snow, so that kind of follows. But if you tilt it to the side like that, you're able to stick Longclaw in there. And let's move his hand back like this. Oh, that's cool. You can sort of have him at the ready with Longclaw, or you can draw the sword and have him ready for battle. And this scabbard might actually help him stand a little bit. Let's see here. If you angle it just right, it might act as like a tripod for Jon. And the sword's kind of loose in the one hand that keeps popping out. It fits great in the other hand though. So there's Jon Snow with Longclaw. Whoops. And he's a little easier to stand if you just let him hold the sword and the scabbard like this. So there is one thing missing, conspicuous by his absence. He does not include Ghost. Maybe they'll make Loyal Subjects Ghost later. But in the meantime, if you've got an 85 Snake Eyes, you can loan Timber out so that your loyal subjects, Jon Snow, has his own little buddy. And, of course, Ghost likes his pets. I wonder if this sword is made of Valyrian steel. Aw, man. That sucks. So that's the new Loyal Subjects Game of Thrones action vinyl figures. Leave a Game of Thrones thought in the comment spot, and to join the tribe, hit subscribe. Nerdness Day.